Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm going to do another group of puzzles in this video and share my train of thought along the way. Spend about 15 minutes, and feel free to treat this as a mini training session for yourself, pausing the video for each of these puzzles. All right, in this first one, it's black to move. What's running through my mind? A check here. That looks appealing. Also a check here. Not so much. This check, bishop captures, if we had time for that, it would be nice, but our bishop will be immediately challenged. We can't afford a slower move like that. So this is probably the first move. And how is this going to play out exactly? After the check, two options. And in both cases, I imagine we're going over here with check. So let's consider, I don't know, it really matters which one the king goes to. Let's say the king goes there. How's that playing out? 92 check, king h1, rook check. The bishop is going to have to block. And I guess maybe the idea there is to take with the bishop. Maybe? Which is setting up next. Bishop captures rook for mate. Okay, check here, this, bishop here, we're still taking. After check, king h1 here, bishop block, rook takes bishop, king g2. Not quite sure what the follow-up would be there. Current material imbalance, by the way. We're down a rook. So it seems like we're going to have to go for mate. Check here, bishop takes. Our king could get checked here. I feel like it could run away, though. All right, I think I'm going to put this one on. I'm not sure what other candidate move to really consider here. So 92 check. I don't believe I'm missing anything. You have to follow up with rook h5 check, bishop blocks. So this is really the test. A couple moves into this puzzle. How are we taking the bishop? And I'm pretty sure we're supposed to be taking here with the bishop. Yeah, puzzle solved. Okay, let me just look. What would the evaluation be if we took with the rook? And so plus 1.5 territory. After bishop takes, and there's g4, and the rook could be maintained somewhere on the h file. Also, if it did carry out here with these checks, okay, we don't have to take the rook, we could take the knight. And at this point, we're not even down material. We're up material, in fact. Okay, let's move on here. Really didn't have a wide range of options with that initial move. Okay, so this one here, black to move. Alrighty, I imagine a check here for starters. There's only one good check. This one here is covered. What's going on with this puzzle? Okay, weird. Okay. Check, king here, and the follow-up check is what exactly? Oh. Oh, wow, okay, I guess it's going to have to be this here and bishop captures pawn. And, yeah, we're out of the line of fire there. That's one thing. And the other, we have this idea of maybe going into f1 as well as bishop c6 with a fork. That's the only thing I could think of here. Does move order matter? It probably does. If we start with this, the rook could maybe fall back and defend the first rank. So I imagine we get there while we can. Check. And then this one, I'm not really sure what move is going to be put on. Tough call, maybe, I don't know, check, queen check. But our king could hide in all cases, and there isn't a good follow-up check. So I'm going to put these first two on. Tough to predict exactly what white's move is going to be after this capture. Maybe puzzle ends? No, it's continuing. Okay. We certainly have to stay here, glued to the defense of f7. All right, and it's a puzzle end right there. Okay. What was the evaluation at the end? Okay, if it carried out here, queen there. Okay, we have a check here, check there. Queen f1, king g3, this seems to be the way. Flushing the king out. Multiple ways. Oh, that's a fancy move. Look at that. Chop, and then there's this skewer. Okay, we'll move on here. Checking out puzzle number 3. This one here, black to move. All right. The test, I believe, with this one is going to be, well, first of all, we're down a bishop. So, and I don't believe we're going to be giving checkmate. So, the idea here should be to win something more than a bishop. This is the piece. And the test here is between rook captures rook or first queen check. And the answer to this one is going to be rook takes rook check, or rook takes rook first. If we go with the check, the queen plays here, and we don't have time to play rook captures rook because our queen is under fire. So we want to bring it to a point where the rook is just completely undefended there on d2. And then we go in for the check. Queen block, in that case, we could take the rook with our queen. Okay, so this is the test. Rook captures rook or queen check. Capture the rook first, and then go in for check, and then pick up the rook. Okay, moving on. This one here, black to move. All right. Capture the pawn, or no? Wait a second. Why would I want to capture the pawn? The bishop is hanging here. Okay. Are there any drawing ideas here for white? No, I don't think so. There might be. This could be a little tricky. No. Okay, so take the bishop, and if the pawn advances, we could just come back with the king to stop the pawn. Is it as simple as that one? Because if we're taking here, this is not enough to win. Bishop is rescued. Yeah. Pawn advances, bishop here, and we can't break down that. So we take the bishop. What other fancy thing is white going to throw our way? I'm just not seeing what's going to be thrown our way. Here, if the pawn advances, we capture. And I'm not seeing any stalemate. It'd be different if we had to capture this pawn by force and the king was out of a square in that setup. But I'm not seeing how that could be forced on us. So it's got to be we take the bishop for starters and just come back to defend against the promotion. Yeah. Oh, okay. Carries out one more. Okay. The test there. Take the bishop or the pawn. Okay. Moving on. And this one here, white to move. Oh, let's see. Our queen is under fire. And what else? Okay, so I'll probably want to address this threat first. I'm not seeing a queen move that could do anything dangerous to black. So it's probably this as a start. What is that follow-up move? That follow-up move, probably bishop here. There is a pin. Yeah, that must be what it is. Also, body count here. We are down, what's the imbalance? 2 pawns versus a light square bishop, call it. So I believe we're going to win a piece. After rook captures rook, bishop captures rook, bishop f6, and you have to defend the mate. Queen here would be a way to defend the mate, but in that position, the queen will be soon, at least, overloaded. Maybe a bit tricky here. Chop, chop, bishop f6, queen f8. Bishop captures bishop. I'm thinking in that position, if queen captures bishop, then we take here. Another continuation might be after this here, bishop captures bishop. I wonder if bishop f7 is a move there. Okay, in that case, what could we do? Well, we could take the queen. Bishop captures queen, and then bishop captures h6, and in that position, we'd be up 3 pawns. It'd be an opposite color bishop position, but we would be up 3 pawns. These 3 connected passers. Okay, I'm going to put this one on. I don't see any other first move to consider here. And then we go after that pinned bishop where black is the only point where black is vulnerable. All right, I don't know why I didn't consider that queen here was another way to defend the bishop. It really shouldn't matter. I mean, in a way it does, because the variation I was citing earlier, we could take the bishop and then take the queen. We don't have that variation anymore, but the nice thing here is if bishop takes bishop, this, we're on that. If here, bishop here, we could take here. You can't get our bishop. Also, chop and bishop here, maybe that would be played out, but in that case, we could, let's say, go to f6. Keep our bishop defended with our queen and maintain pressure on the bishop. And we're in a spot yet again to meet queen takes bishop with queen from f6 to f5. So I'm going to put this one on. May not even continue. No. Oh, it does continue. Okay, so we do have to find this one more move. Queen f6 in this position should be that move. Also, if she's challenged, we have a check here to get out of anything. There's no threat that black is generating here besides our queen here. We're not vulnerable on the back rank or anything, so we just have to sort this situation out. And it should be here. And it is. All right, puzzle solved. That one carried out quite a bit. All right, moving on. Let's do one more. All right, an end game. This one here, white to move. Okay, well, I don't think it's enough to just say our rook is satisfied here, cutting off the king. How far is this one going to play out? Take a pawn? Inserting a check first would only be helping black. So if we're going to take the pawn, we take the pawn straight away. Nothing fancy with this. We're just dropping stuff. How are we winning this exactly? Oh, I see the idea. It's the move number 2. What's going to be played out here after rook captures pawn is this idea to break up our pawn duo with g4. And that's the test position, really. In response to that move, in order to win, because what's happening here after rook captures pawn g4, if we take, the rook captures, and there will be no saving. That's not entirely sure. I was going to say there's no saving this pawn. We could give a check. King improves and then fall back here, but our rook is so passive. And the rook is really, the black rook would be really good, cutting off our king, pressure on the pawn, restriction on our rook. That won't be enough to win. So what am I getting at here? After rook captures pawn g4, we have to insert this check, and next focus on that intersection square e4. And that will either force a rook exchange, bringing us to a 1 king and pawn ending, or the rook ducks the exchange somehow, and we win a second pawn. If we have two connected passers, that will be winning. So that's the test. I'm going to put this one on. Rook captures a5. Rook e5 check to e4. And that will do it. All right, that's a good, that's a very good endgame puzzle right there. All right, I'm going to stop it right there. Feel free, as usual, to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care.